Okay, today we're going to talk about planting pumpkins. I don't really plant my pumpkins the traditional way most people plant them. I plant them mostly in mulch and manure. I put a generous layer of mulch underneath, and then I try to get some finer manure and some dirt, if I can find it, on the top. So the first thing I do, for pumpkins, especially if you're doing big pumpkins, you really need big hills, okay? And these hills aren't normally as big as I do, but you know, this is little work. So first thing I do is I flatten it out on top a bit. This is making a platform for your plants and your pumpkins, and also for your water to stay on there, because if it's too much of a hill, it'll run off. Okay, so I also tend to plant pretty heavily because if slugs eat them or something, then I've got extra plants. So you're going to try to just, Hunter, do you mind? You're about an inch deep, okay? So poke them down in there. Normally they're going to tell you to have something like, I don't know, 3 plants per hill or something like that, but I plant at least double that because I just like to be prepared. Anyway, so there's a couple of considerations when you're planting pumpkins. Number one, they need to be in a nice sunny place. Number two, have good access to water because, you know, especially during summer months, they need a lot of water. Also, make sure they're not too close to any other squash varieties, because anything in the squash family, but it seems to me particularly pumpkins, can interbreed with other squash. We've had some crosses before and it wasn't good. Another thing is, you know, you can do heirloom pumpkins, and then you'll be able to save your seeds. But I actually have been successful in the past sometimes of keeping pumpkin seeds when they're not heirlooms, and they still grew well the next year. Okay, so fertilizing pumpkins. After your pumpkin plants are up and they start to really get growing, they need a lot of fertilizer. If you're growing big pumpkins, I actually, when I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I fertilize every day or two. And I use like a manure tea or something, you know, because they use a lot of nutrients growing. Some people actually milk feed pumpkins, but I've never done that. I was always afraid it would make a sour milk smell in the garden. They say that it's really good for them, but I don't know. These are Big Max pumpkins, and we bought them bulk so that we could plant lots. We'd like to plant pumpkins for the pigs too, not just us. I tend to plant the big ones for the animals, and plant little sugar pie pumpkins for our pies. What else? Oh, watch that when you're planting, often crows will be watching. And they will come out here and they will dig up the seeds after you have planted. So watch for that, because you may need to replant some seeds if they were stolen. So you'll come out and you may see some little digging holes in there. And then you'll know you can wait till they come up and find out what you need to replace. And that's another reason to have some extra plants, is that you'll be able to block those, you know, put those holes and fill them to make up for ones where the seeds were stolen. I think that's all. Well, no, we have one more thing to say. After the pumpkins are getting up bigger, they maybe start to be like a couple of pounds or something, and they'll start crawling off of your hill. They'll be over here and they'll be hanging down, and it puts a lot of stress on the stem, and it also makes like bleaches and washes out the underside of your pumpkins. And it's not just about looks, okay, because it can cause rot down here in the grass. So here's what I do. When the pumpkins start to get up 1-2 pounds, I put little boards, and actually usually I use a lot smaller ones. It doesn't take much, just a small block, a few inches. to put under there and prop them up and give them the support they need, and it makes a lot of difference. And you'll lose a lot less to rot if you do that. Okay, so that's planting pumpkins.